As Father James mentioned, Father Damian is going to be recognized by the NCEA during early April. In the brief biographical note that I wrote for that program, I pointed out that Father Damian's influence, as with any significant figure in a school's history, extends far beyond the classroom, where he has taught typing, every level of theology, and accounting to generations of students. He has patrolled the sidelines of countless sporting events, cleaned trophy cases, moved furniture, has officiated at more weddings, conducted more funerals, and celebrated more baptisms than any Trinitarian. He has been with individuals and families at every point in their lives. We are really fortunate to be part of the remarkable history of this school, and we're all fortunate to be connected through Father Damian. We had asked Mr. Patrick Smith, DeMatha class of 1982, whose own relationship with Father Damian goes back to 1979, to say a few words. But Pat's son Daniel is interviewing for a scholarship at Xavier University in Cincinnati today, but he did write about Father Damian, and I think when I read this to you, you will see the kind of reverberating impact that Father Damian has had on so many families through the eyes of one family, the Smith family. So this is from Pat. While Father Damian goes looking for plenty of people, many people, even if they do not know it at the time, go looking for him. Father Damian came to DeMatha in 1968 and stayed until 1975. He returned in the fall of '79, just as I was arriving at DeMatha as a sophomore transfer student, and he stayed until 1985. In the fall of 1987, Father Damian returned to DeMatha, just as I was beginning my first year as an English teacher and assistant coach. Now that I think of it, maybe Team Smith moved to Texas in the 90s just so we could return for a third time to DeMatha, like Father Damian. The 3 different times you came to DeMatha, Father Damian, your devotion to the Trinity is truly unprecedented. I do not remember the first words that Father Damian said to me 45 years ago. Maybe he suggested that I play better defense, move the ball more quickly on offense when I was a junior varsity player. Maybe he helped me find a classroom in a school that I had never even toured. Maybe he asked me about my family and where I lived. Whatever those first words were, he has added to them 1,000-fold since then, and with the same depth of interest, love, and concern that he did the first time. Here's a sample of things that he has told me. And who do we have here? Of course we can baptize in the Children's Hospital. Yes, we can use whatever nice bowls you have at the house. Oh, I wouldn't worry too much about it, Liz. You've had twins before. Yes, I would be honored to renew your wedding vows. I will miss you, Pat, and your family when you move to Texas, but it's important that you find out where you should be. Welcome back. What took you so long? Well, isn't he a nice surprise? You are the first person who I have married whose parents I also married. And I think his eyes may have glistened a little when he said that. We love who we love. How are your parents doing? How are things in the great metropolis of Flatonia, Texas? Liz and I are high school sweethearts, and I can still remember introducing her to Father Damian at my senior prom. 5 years later, he was the celebrant at our wedding in Flatonia, and because of his kindness and generosity, as well as his decision to evenly spread out the train of Liz's wedding dress while we were on the altar, it is still talked about until this day. Liz and I have known him for over 40 years, but the other members of Team Smith have known him all of their lives. And I know this is true for many of you who have come to celebrate with him today. He baptized all of our children, and I know that he has been a blessing to you and your families. He renewed our wedding vows 3 different times, and he officiated at the renewal of vows for Liz's parents at their 60th wedding anniversary. I know this is true for many of you who have come to thank him for being a spiritual presence in your lives. Words are powerful, something that I knew but something that my own family has truly impressed upon me. And because they are a part of him as much as I am, as much as we all are, I'm going to give my family the last, or almost the last words. He has a great sense of humor, and his laugh is infectious. He's always there to support the team and the students. He's open-minded, enthusiastic, passionate about what he does and who he is. He is always in your corner. He always wants to know more about how you are doing. He's always rooting for you. He is honorable and dependable. He's loyal, he's quick-witted, he's dedicated, he's lively, he's singular. He is the OG. To finish, I'm going to borrow and then flip a metaphor which I read recently in a book by mine, Perry. If we dig into the history of DeMatha Catholic High School, as well as into the history of our own families, and look for some of the foundational people who made us who we are, we would discover that Father Damian is not just a part of our genealogy. He's an inseparable part of our soul. And I, for one, am eternally thankful. Thank you, Father Damian. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's one for you, and 3 more for the Trinity who sent you into our lives. To come forward, we have a small token we'd like to present to Father Damian before we hear from him. So we have this stag lamp, which we'd like to give to Father Damian, signifying that he has been a light for so many and lighted the way for all of us.